Hey, I did something very, very cool. Do you want to see? Here it is! Brand spanking new S5 with Spaziale. And this is the install. Done. Installed. So that's it put on the counter. All the wires have been fed through the counter in a hole. Fairly straightforward. There's the hole. There's the wires. Waste outlet, water inlet, and power cable you can see poking through the hole there. This is the water softener, and that is the outlet pipe going from the water softener to the machine, which is the silver one. Inlet is the white one. Looks very much like the pipe that you get on a washing machine. Same fittings, very straightforward. That's the water filter. Catches any nasties before it gets into the water softener before going into the machine. Very straightforward installation. The same sort of fittings, like I said, as a washing machine. Plumb it in, off we go. There's all the bits and pieces. So we've got the mains power tucked in behind there, waste pipe going into the outlet, the main socket, which was plugged in by an electrician. I'd highly recommend doing that unless you're electrically qualified. If you're not, get them to do it. And the mains water you can see, which is the copper piping there. Coming now onto the machine itself. It's not turned on, but it does have the water going into the machine. So I am holding down the lever to fill up the water boiler. This will take a little bit of time to do that, as you can see. The instructions for this machine is to fill the water level up between minimum and maximum to get some water in there. And then we're going to use that to help bring the machine to temperature and then flush it through. So we've plumbed it into the machine, fed the water into it, and then we're going to run some water through the machine before its first use. So once we get to halfway, which is coming up in a second, we're then going to turn the machine on and get it going. So here we are, ready to turn it on for the very, very first time in 3, 2, 1, bang. S5 Spaziale. It's going to go through an initiation startup mode where it's going to flash all the lights on just to make sure it's all good to go. Going to send all the lights to the end, off again, and then flash at 120, which is the manufacturer's recommended temperature to start with. It's at this point here, whilst it's going through its sort of initiation heat up phase and pressurization and all that sort of jazz, what it recommends that you do is open up the steam ones and give it a bit of time. So bring the steam ones in here, crack open the left one full blast, crack open the right one full blast, and leave it for about 15 to 20 minutes. After which, this will happen. It will start to piddle out a little bit of water from either side as the water is starting to fill in the boiler and come to pressure and come to temperature. So this is what you'll see after about maybe 15-20 minutes or so. So during this time, I would say go make yourself a coffee, but not quite ready yet. So hold fire, let it do its thing, and after a few more minutes of them being on, this will happen, where the steam will start to come out a little bit more forceful, not full blast like you'd expect on the machine when it's fully up and running, but enough for you to hear it and enough for you to see it. So here you can see the pressure. On the left hand side is the water pressure. So they do say about 4 bars. As long as it's hitting 4 bars, you should be okay, which is the white one. The yellow one is the pressure of the machine. 1 bar is what we want, which is now what we have. So as soon as it hits 1 bar, it is now fully at pressure, it is at temperature, and it's ready to go. Boiling water-ish will be coming out of the hot water nozzle, and what we'll be doing now is we're going to be opening up the taps to flush the machine through. So we're going to open up the tap, intermittently turn on and off the group heads, flushing through the portafilter, just to get a full run of water through the machine so that there's no nasties left behind before we start making coffee. So this process here, I won't film up, but it'll take, a good 10-15 minutes to flush all the water through. In the meantime, when that's done, dial in your machine. This isn't dialing in, this is post that, because it took a little while to get the recipe right, as required by the coffee roaster. So that was done. Your beans, your machine, your grind will all be different. So dial it in yourself. There's plenty of other videos to watch that. Maybe I'll do it in the future, who knows. But this is now post dial-in. The machine's all ready to go. I've pulled off the double shot there, stuck it under my right hand group head, and I'm going to extract a double shot of coffee here. Now, the recipe on this coffee specifically called for quite a long extraction of about 28 seconds or so. There's still a little bit of tinkering to do, but this yields quite a lovely shot of espresso, really nice thick crema on this one, and it tastes fantastic. So we've had a bit of tinkering over the last few days, but this was the very first shot ever pulled off the machine, once dialed in. So you can see a really nice decent espresso here. So that's it. That's the basic procedure and the setup. There are other videos on there that go into a bit more detail, but that's the basics of it, and that's what we did to get this ready. And that is the end result after full installation. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.